Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today's subject is bottle magic. Bottle magic, or bottle spells, or you can use a jar. This is a really popular magical practice. Bottle magic is, simply put, bottle magic is a spell in a jar or a bottle. So you may put different ingredients in the bottle, and this is a way to harness your intent or focus your intent. So a bottle spell is a spell within a bottle. And here in a moment, I will teach you how to make your own bottle spell. And I'll go over different methods, different techniques. Now, bottle magic is found in different magical traditions, different cultures. Today, I will focus mostly on hoodoo, a hoodoo perspective, African American folk magic. Bottle spells are also used within Latin American magic. In Central and South America, bottle spells are very popular. You may use a bottle or a jar or a flask. And in countries like Peru, Guatemala, in South America and Central America, and in Latin American magic, they'll often put different herbs, different charms in the bottle or flask. And then they may also put different images of Catholic saints, and that's in Latin American tradition. In England, they have witches' bottles. And then in hoodoo, African American magic and hoodoo, this is really popular. You have honey jar spells, vinegar bottles, and then also this is increasingly being used within Wiccan tradition. So what is a bottle spell? It's a spell in a bottle. In the bottle, you will put different stones, herbs, metals. You may write out a wish paper and put it in the bottle, and then you may fill it with magical oils. And this is all a way to focus and harness your intent. Now, there is the idea in different forms of magic that different stones and metals and herbs have occult properties to them. So we all know that herbs, different plants, have medical properties. So some herbs, when you eat them, they may relieve headaches. Relieve pain, thin the blood. Some herbs, when you eat them, some plants are poisonous. They kill you. And some are psychedelic. So you see how different plants have certain properties to them. But also there is the idea that different herbs also have occult properties, so that this herb has this is good for money. These herbs and stones are good for prosperity or love. So what do you put in a spell bottle? Herbs, stones, different items that are used to represent your desire, and this is used to focus and harness your intent. Stones. This is citrine. This is highly regarded stone or crystal used in magic. This is citrine. This is a quartz crystal. So you have different stones or roots or herbs you can put in the bottle. I really like to use these jars. So say this represented your desire. You may bless the stone, pray over it. You may push your desire into it, and then you stick this into the bottle. You could also use different herbs. I really like these jars. Some people store their herbs in plastic baggies. That never made much sense to me. That's how you get it from the witch's shop, but I like to use jars. Labeled jars just look a lot better. Now this is knotweed. This is an herb that is used for binding and restricting people's actions. This is knotweed. It's real easy to remember that this is used to bind and restrict people's actions because it's knotweed. You think you tie a knot, it's to restrict people. This is frankincense. Of course, very ancient, very popular in magic. Frankincense has a very strong smell. This is Irish moss. Okay, Irish moss. Over here we have dragon's blood resin. This is really popular in magic. It's used for everything from protection, exorcism, and that's what dragon's blood looks like. So in a spell bottle, you gather up different stones, plants that represent your goal. You may write out a wish paper. You stick all these ingredients in the bottle. It's like baking a cake. You have your different ingredients. You may put rose petals, you may put in chamomile, basil, whatever. Different herbs that represent your goal, different stones. You may write out a wish paper. You may fill it up to the neck with magical oils. And then you simply put on the top. And this is used to focus and harness your intent. These are sometimes called prayer bottles, because you pray over the bottle. Sometimes people like to paint their bottles, to paint them, and sometimes people can get really artistic with these. Now, honey jars are really popular in Hoodoo for love spells. Honey jars. Now, for example, if you want to do a prosperity spell, you take money herbs and put them in the jar. You may put aventurine, a stone for money. You may put in a dollar bill, some coins, fill it with fast money oil or whatever. And this is used to focus your intent. Honey jars are really popular for love spells. Honey. Now, honey jars are not just for love spells. Honey jars are used to sweeten people towards you. So if you want someone to like you more or to listen to your petition or case, you'll use a honey jar. So it can be used in a love spell. For a honey jar, you simply get a jar full of honey, or you may go buy some honey and fill the jar up to the shoulder. And this is your honey jar. It's filled all the way up with honey. Now within the honey jar, you may take a piece of paper and write the name of the person you want to sweeten towards you. Let's say that I want a raise. Let's say my boss's name is Bob Smith. I'll write Bob Smith, Bob Smith, Bob Smith. Okay? So I've written that person's name, and then I'll turn the paper and write my name over his name. This is called crossing the name. Okay? So anyways, you write your name over theirs, and then you may write your desire around it. And then in petition papers in Hoodoo, South America, what do you call it? African American folk magic, you fold towards you while stating your intent to bring towards you, and you fold the paper away from you to diminish. So since I want a raise at my job, you state your intent and fold towards you. You state your intent and fold towards you. And also, you may put the hairs or fingernails of the person that you want to sweeten towards you. Put in some herbs that represent your desire. And you fold up this paper and you stick it down into the jar of honey. Okay, you stick it down in the jar of honey. And then you tighten the lid. And this is your honey jar. Now, some people like to combine this with candle magic. Now, how do you dispose of the jar? Like I said, some people in England, they have witches' bottles. Witches' bottles, archaeologists keep finding these in England. If you go look up archaeology, witch bottles. You'll see that archaeologists keep pulling these up. Witches bottles are used in England. They'll put broken glass, different nails, different shards of razor blades, whatever, into a bottle, and then they'll fill it with their urine or hair, and these are buried to keep away curses and things like that. You know, that's the superstition they had back then. That's what they did. Witches bottles are still used, still highly regarded. So you put in your herbs, stones, your paper writing out your desire. You may fill it with a magical oil. And so you have your bottle spell. Okay? This is used to focus and harness your intent. Now you take your bottle spell and you could either bury this in the yard. There are different ways to dispose of these. Bury it in the yard. If it's a curse, you can bury it in your enemy's doorstep. You can use bottle spells. You can bury it in a cemetery, at a crossroads. Now, if you're trying to diminish or get rid of something, you certainly want to bury your bottle. But you could also use this as an ongoing spell. Shakeable bottle spells, you may put all your ingredients, and as an ongoing thing, once a week or once a day, whatever, you shake the bottle while focusing on your goal. So these are shakeable bottle spells, and it's seen as waking up the spell, and you state your intention. So this could be an ongoing thing. You could keep adding herbs and stones to it. Sometimes this is combined with candle magic. Now this is really popular. Candle spells combined with bottle spells. If it's a bottle like a whiskey bottle, you may burn a candle to seal the spell. You'll take a candle of the color representing your desire, and you'll carve symbols in the candle, and you'll anoint it with botanical oils representing your goal, and you burn the candle on top of the bottle, in the neck of the bottle, or on top of the lid of the jar. So that's really popular. Say you're doing a love spell. Say you're doing a honey jar spell. You fill it up with honey, write the person's name, love me, love me, love me. You fold the paper, love me, love me, love me, with their hair in it, stick it down in the honey. Then you may take a red candle, red is for love and sexuality, anoint it with rose oil, or love me oil, or whatever, and you burn this on top of the candle. And as the wax melts down, it covers some of the jar. And then you could repeat this candle burning spell on top of the jar every day if you want, once a week. So as an ongoing spell, you can leave this on your altar, and you could, say you're doing a money spell, burn a green candle. Okay, then the next day you may burn another green candle. So you can keep repeating the candle burning spell on top of the jar. And this is really infusing it with more and more energy. Now once your spell manifests, then you can bury it. So this can be an ongoing thing. Vinegar bottles are usually used for destructive magic. It's used to break people up in a relationship, to hurt an enemy. So there are darker sides to this. In my last video, I talked about a breakup bottle. If you want to break two people up. Now I'm not saying do it. I'm not condoning. In order for the video to be complete, I'll talk about it. Vinegar bottles to break up a couple. You may take different herbs to break them up. And then you may write their names. Okay? And you may take one of their hairs and one of his hairs. And you may take the hair of a black cat and the hair of a dog, so that they will fight like cats and dogs. You may use different coffin nails, different pins, broken shards of glass, so that the couple will hurt one another. They'll hurt each other. That's what the razor blades and broken glass means. And then you may add some red pepper to make them angry. And then you may fill it with vinegar to sour their relationship. And then you can burn a black candle while cursing their relationship with their names on it. And then once a day, you could shake the bottle while calling down a curse on their relationship. So there are darker sides to this. Vinegar bottles are usually used for curses and destructive forms of magic. Honey jars are to sweeten people towards you. So really popular candle burnings. You'll take candle magic and combine it. So if I'm doing a love spell, I'll leave this on my altar and burn a red candle. And then the next day, again, burn the red candle. The next day, burn a red candle. And when my desire manifests, I will bury this. That's getting rid. I mean, it's worked, so you don't need the bottle anymore. Now, some people, let's say that two people are together and they want to keep their relationship positive. You may take one of her or his hairs and one of yours and tie them together with different love herbs, put it in a paper, and write out your desire for you to stay together and have a long relationship. You'll write this down, and then you'll take the paper and you'll take one of her hairs or his hairs and one of yours and put it in there with some rose petals, and then you fold it towards me. Happy relationship, happy relationship, happy relationship, happy relationship. And then you may stick this down into a jar of honey, push it down into the jar, and then every once in a while you may take a red candle, anoint it with botanical oils, and burn the red candle on the jar. Now, some people have an ongoing spell for their relationship like this for weeks, months, even years. They'll use that same spell to protect yourself from curses or psychic attack. You may use a bottle, like a whiskey bottle, and hang it from a tree or bury it in the yard. And this type of magic is really popular, like I said, in Latin American magic, in Guatemala, Peru. They'll use these bottles with different images of Catholic saints. Now, this can also be religious. If you're practicing voodoo, you may make a bottle dedicated to a certain spirit or loa. Candle jars could be connected to Olshun, the goddess Olshun in voodoo. And in voodoo, you always taste the honey before you use a honey jar with Olshun. If you're Catholic, you may use roses for the Virgin Mary. Or if you're pagan, if you're Wiccan, you can take different things connected to the goddess Bridget or Breed, put it in there. If you're a ceremonial magician, then you might say you're doing a spell for Mars. Say you're ceremonial magic, a spell for Mars, and you want to call down the power of Mars into the bottle. And you may use some war water. War water is also used in destructive magic, and it's made by taking nails, iron nails connected to Mars, putting it in water in the fridge and letting the nails rust, and the rust off the nails in the water makes a red concoction, which is war water. So anyways, a bottle spell or jar spell is simply a spell in a bottle. You put in the herbs. This is a prayer bottle. You may say prayers over it, recite psalms. You may push your energy into it. And if you push your energy into it, then you are giving it life. So the physical ingredients is the body. Now you have to breathe life into it. Give your spell life. And you do this by pushing your energy, your desire. Focus on your desire, push that energy into the bottle. So astrally it's filled with an aura of its own. So you have a body with an aura around it. This is a living thing, a living magical entity that you have created that will work the spell. It can be buried, it could be shaken every day or so often, repeating your goal. You can use it to burn candles on. Honey jars, vinegars, usually used for destructive magic. You could put in money herbs, love herbs, stones. Now, it's important in magic to focus on one thing. You do not mix a money and love spell together. You focus on one desire, and that's it. Fast luck spell. I'm going to go to gambling. Well, I'll take some devil shoestrings, some coins, some dollar bills, put it in there with some money herbs, rub it down with, fill it up with fast luck oil. I may take a green candle for prosperity, burn it on the jar, and shake the jar. Money, money, bring me money at the casinos. You know, bring me money at the casinos. Burn the candles. And you might take it with you to the casinos in a little duffel bag and shake the jar when you're up in the casino, up in the hotel room. So people use these for gambling luck, money, love, protection. Now if you cast spells and you're into witchcraft, you don't have to know how to do everything. These can be used for all kinds of things. Anyways, that is bottle spells and bottle magic. Thank you for joining me, and see y'all next time.